Metro on WDET. I'm Tia Graham. Now, do you consider yourself a storyteller? It's in human nature to tell stories. Stories have been used to pass down knowledge and legacy, and the power of storytelling has the ability to transcend time. It has a way of connecting people across scripted lines in our society. And a new exhibition opening next week wants to explore storytelling through the lens of food, poetry, comedy, visual art, fashion, film, and performance. Many Tongues, curated by Oma Misha of Irwin House Global Arts Center, will use activations to dive into the power of storytelling while uplifting Detroit creatives. Brittany Ward, a.k.a. I&I, is a storyteller, a poet, and a multidisciplinary artist. Her recent works, include The Seer, commissioned by the Kennedy Center, and Grandma's Baby, featured in Weiserman's Project's Bass Blue exhibition. LaMarr Ward is a filmmaker and a featured panelist for Many Tongues. His works, Windstorm Chronicles, will be on display. Brittany, LaMarr, welcome to the Metro.
Thanks for having us.
Of course, of course. I always love to ask this. I haven't done it in a while. Detroit natives, what part?
Oh, well, I used to live in West Side, 7 Mile, Illinois, you know. Then I moved East Side. Now I'm back home.
Back
West
on the West.
Side,
Back on the West.
Illinois.
All right, so West Siders over here.
Yeah, same. West Side.
West Siders. So, Brittany, let's talk about Many Tongues and its activations. The first show is opening November 12th. It's going to go through December as well. What can people expect?
Yeah, for the opening night, they can expect to just come in and really be immersed in what storytelling means. And then also there's going to be the exhibition on display. There's going to be some food by Aida Spaghetti. There's going to be a panel discussion with so many storytellers. Like, I can get into that list. It's so heavy. Yeah, just really let's dive into what storytelling means and what that looks like across different mediums.
Yeah, and your canvas art and spoken words will be on display throughout as well. Mm-hmm. And if you could paint a mini picture for listeners, what will some of the poems and artwork feature?
Yeah, so my book, Arms, Legs, Hips, and Thighs, I'll be featuring my audiobooks. There'll be some audios people can scan on their QR code and listen in person. Also, physical copies of my book will be for sale. There'll be some, foam core of printouts of my poems as well for sale. What else? I've been a painting sister, and so that's going to be on the walls. Goodness gracious, 30 by 40s, 16 by 24s, like all of it will be present, everything.
Yeah, and while we're talking about just being present in that space, I do want to throw in the question about just being in a space that's not necessarily a gallery, because you're going to be somewhere that's outside of those traditional spaces. So talk about bringing all of you to this space, and especially we're going to bring you as well, LaMarr, into the conversation. But you're bringing yourself to this space, so talk about bringing it to the community.
Yeah, Ashe. So, High Society has actually been on a journey. I'm not sure how they started off, but from hearing different people, they've evolved into a gallery space, actually. So there's a portion where they dedicate to art. Not to mention, when you walk in, it's really beautiful. It's a really beautiful space. You could tell they put a lot of intention on how they want to showcase their artwork. And so me bringing this, first of all, shout out to that. It's around the corner, like where I grew up. Like, this is my neighborhood, literally. And so I get to showcase all that I am now at 33 years old in a space in my neighborhood. And I'm looking forward to a lot of different people coming from different corners of the world to infuse in this space. A lot of people aren't from that area. A lot of people haven't been, wanted to be there. So it just really feels like this nexus point of so much.
Yes, and LaMarr, bringing you into this conversation as well, because you're going to be one of the panelists for opening night, but your film is also going to be present throughout the exhibition as long as it's up. So talk a little bit about filmmaking and the importance of it as a medium for storytelling.
Well, I feel that filmmaking is extremely powerful. Films have the power to shift culture. So when things happen, whether it be in the media, and when the culture takes a turn, I believe that films can shed light on the meaning behind what's going on in our society, and it can be used as propaganda in a good way as well as a bad way. It can be used to reveal certain things that you may not get from mainstream media. You have a little more freedom when it comes to filmmaking because you can create the story and tell the story. And by telling the story, you're actually teaching in a way. And I wanted to take advantage of that by way of, science fiction.
And talk about just the amazing space that film is for world building, because I know that was one of the things that you touch on is
Right.
the idea of world building and how it can shift and change perspectives, especially like you just said, good propaganda. So
Right.
could you just talk about that a little bit, world building?
Yes. Well, so the idea of our society, if you want to look at it like, like kind of like a matrix where we are taught to perceive the world a certain way. Artists want to perceive the world in their own way. And when you have a film series or you have even a novel series, anything that tells a story in this type of medium, you're able to exist in that world. You're able to exist in the world that you want, of your choosing, whether you're the creator or the spectator. So, when it comes to film and world building, like you say, it just opens up the avenue to exist in these worlds that, we want to be a part of. And that's, ultimately why we cling towards certain, cinema.
Yeah. And Brittany, just bringing you back into this conversation as well, because, it's being curated by Oma Misha, who has been such an instrumental force for so many artists in the city of Detroit. And, so you're tagged to do this. And then you said, I'm going to open it up and I'm going to bring more people into the fold to showcase more creatives in the city of Detroit and what they're doing from different mediums. Just talk about bringing that community together and starting to foster that connection with other artists in the city, because there are so many people doing so many things right now. And yet it feels as if they could be fragmented. So you're bringing it together. Talk about why you chose to have to take an exhibit that was supposed to just be, about you and open the doors for others.
Yeah, definitely started as a solo exhibition. It somewhat still is, but it's like more than an exhibition. Also, shout out to Auntie Misha. She was literally my first step into art world in Detroit. Like me reaching out to random galleries like, hey, can I just volunteer? In like 2019. And then she's like, sure, okay. And she still is like, sure, okay, and then she learns more about me. And then, it's just this beautiful relationship since 2019. So it started off as a solo exhibition. And then we're like, how can I bring in more people? How can I cross-collaborate through different mediums? How can I really elevate what work is already being done as a storyteller? Because, yes, I am an artist. I am a creative. I create things and, yay, put them on the wall. But my background is in organizing. And so when I think about community, I think about how can I organize these people that are already doing such amazing work, and what would that look like in an exhibition? And so, bam, many tongues, the many different ways that we tell stories, the many different ways that we overlap and intersect as people, as human beings, our stories. And so it's such a larger narrative at play with many tongues. It's not just like, look at these beautiful things we do, but it's also like, look at how we as a people can relate to one another.
We're talking about Many Tongues, an immersive exhibition and series of activations opening next week in Detroit. Our guest is featured artist Brittany Ward and featured panelist and filmmaker LaMarr Ward. And I want to bring you both to this conversation. This question is about just the city of Detroit right now and giving space to artists like yourself, both of you. And I'll begin with you, Brittany. What is it like right now in the city of Detroit and its capacity to hold some of the things that we're seeing within the arts and culture community? I mean, we're seeing so many more exhibitions and young artists especially starting to be the forefront of these movements in art in the city of Detroit. So just talk about that space right now that we're in.
So I've been blessed to be in so many different spaces. The small ones that's in like the basement of a house, and then also the ones that are in like these shiny, fancy buildings with great lighting. But people are starting to create their own spaces. Because I know I'm not the only creative and artist in Detroit that was just frustrated. Like, I have been an applying sister. I've been a painting sister, but also an applying sister. Like, applying, trying to be a part, trying to do da-da-da-da. And not even just, like, applications from funders, but also just, like, trying to collaborate with different artists and people. You hit your head a lot. And so I really feel like people are just starting to be like, you know what? I could create that lane. Hence, Many Tongues. You know what I'm saying? Like, I can create that lane. And honestly, the people that are hitting their head, they probably are supposed to be creating those lanes. So, yeah, it just feels... I want to know if I answered your question, first of all.
No, you did. No, you did. You did. You really did.
Yeah.
And like LaMarr, I want you to piggyback off of that. What's happening in Detroit right now that's fostering events like Many Tongues?
Well, really, it's just artists coming together. That's something that we need to do. I I've been blessed to be around so many different dimensions of art, because I'm a multi-dimensional artist myself, like making music, painting, sketch artist, and I'm just putting it all together as a film director.
Yeah.
So just collaborating, I feel like people are collaborating, and we do have more spaces becoming available. Even like how I say I grew up on West Side Detroit, in West Side Detroit. Livernois, that street, I called it Black Wall Street growing up because there's so many Black-owned businesses. It's amazing. And they're doing so much good work down there, and they're still, like, building. So you just walk down that street, you can feel the energy, feel the vibes, and there's so much going on. So much was going on during the summer. I can go on and on about it. But, yeah, it's just about us taking advantage of these platforms, taking advantage of the people that's around us and collaborating. Don't be afraid to collaborate, City of Detroit.
Yeah, I mean, living on right now, every time I drive down is something new. I'm seeing something new. I'm seeing so much energy, so much vibrancy coming out of that area. But LaMarr, how do different mediums change how you tell a story? I'm going to ask you the same thing, Brittany, but, you were just talking about, both of you all are multidisciplinary artists, and you do so many different things.
Right.
So how do you approach telling a story differently from the different medium that you're working in?
Man, it's freedom for me, because I have the freedom to express my idea in different ways, even if, like, I could draw the story, I could write the story, I could film the story. And with technology and AI, artificial intelligence, and how we can create using AI, it's so many different ways that I can paint the picture. Whatever idea I have, it's easy for me to, put it out there, being that multidimensional artist. And I'm not right now with my film, I'm not confined to a specific style. I'm just kind of all over the place, but it's controlled chaos in a sense. So multidimensional art just gives me freedom, to just do what I need to do to tell the story.
Yes. And Brittany, similar with you, when you're working in different mediums, whether you're doing spoken word at a time or you're painting on a canvas, in which ways are you changing the way you approach telling that story?
Let me tell you, it took me a minute to get to a point where I'm like, oh, I'm a storyteller. Yeah. Because on a spiritual tip, it's a blessing to have all these different ways to express. And so I'm like, that means something. It's not just like you need to just be the best or a great painter. It's like, okay, there's a reason why you're able to communicate in these different ways and reach different audiences. And so me being a multidisciplinary artist is just like, yeah, it's freedom. It's like room to play. I be telling people like, yeah, I just be playing around, like that's my favorite line to say, because I really am just playing around. Like I'm having fun with it. Like it is truly freeing to know that I don't have to confine myself to one medium or put myself in one box. Like knowing that I'm a storyteller, knowing that I tell stories through different mediums, knowing that sometimes I am the medium that tells the story as an oracle reader. Like, it all falls under such a beautiful umbrella that I feel good underneath.
And we have about 3 minutes or so, but I do want to ask, probably it's maybe a little bit of a heavier question, but just listening to both of you speak, and I'm thinking about the preservation of history through storytelling and like what it means to be a person who's holding space to tell these stories, to preserve that history across generations even. So for you, Brittany, what is it like to be in this space where you are, telling stories that are going to be history lessons later on?
Well, it all starts with the family dynamic. Honestly, it starts with my own responsibility to my family. I feel like as someone that has agreed to tell the stories of the ancestors, I do that for my family and I do that for the community. So what does that look like to hold these stories with dignity and to allow them to live and inform the past and the future, so we can know the blueprint, and then also so we don't make the same mistakes, but maybe we can do the same thing that they just did and amplify it. So it's just like holding those stories.
And LaMarr, same thing, like, just being able to do it in different ways and to touch it in different ways. History, that is. Just talk about how you view yourself as a historical landmark, I guess you can say.
Yeah, I mean, that's my motivation when I create the film and write the scripts. I don't want you to indulge in my content and just go about your day. I want you to leave with something. I want something to stick. I want the message to echo through time. I want to have that stamp on culture to where you can see concepts of my film in real life and you can make the comparison, and it can actually shed a light to help you and guide you in what you need to do, you know what I'm saying, when it comes to your, daily endeavors. And whether it be government or any type of institution that you need to be enlightened for. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like, just shedding knowledge, wisdom, and understanding, by way of my film. So that's my motivation. I want you to leave with something impactful.
And, I love that. That's the mic drop there. Brittany Ward, a.k.a. I is a storyteller, poet, and multidisciplinary artist. She is the featured artist in the new exhibition titled Many Tongues. LaMarr Ward is a filmmaker and also a multidisciplinary artist and a featured panelist for Many Tongues. His works will be on display throughout the exhibition. Many Tongues opens Wednesday, November 12th at High Society in Detroit, and it runs through December 10th, and it's curated by Oma Misha of Irwin House Gallery. To find out more, where should they go?
www.iniloc.com/events.
Thank you both for joining us today.
Thank you.
Thank you.
The Metro is produced by Sam Corey, Carey Jr. II, Jack Philbrandt, Robin Vincent, and me, Tia Graham. Our engineer is Nate Bender. Music done by Sam Bobian, and our senior producer is David Lyons. The Metro is a production of WDET and a listener-supported service of Wayne State University. This is WDET-FM, Detroit Public Radio, your connection to news, music, and conversation. Have a great day.